And good morning. Welcome to another Tom and Shane video podcast slash whatever it is we do here every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. Tom Eaglehoff, your morning mayor in Bozeman, Montana. Shane Mataba, half man, half amazing, is in Kamloops, Canada, and he's under martial law, of course. So
No, they came out yesterday, Big Tom, and the finance minister and the prime minister stood up in front of the world with the premier of Ontario and reversed themselves on it. And we're back to being free, and the banks can't give them information. And
yeah.
yeah, of course, there was a run on the banks in Ontario. People were going and
Hmm.
standing in line in ATM machines and bank lines to pull all their money out because the
Yeah.
banks were giving their money away to the government. So
All right.
yeah, we're
sounds
back to freedom.
sounds good. All right. Well, hey, if you're joining us on YouTube or wherever, we'd like for you to subscribe. Ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified of any future podcast we have. Easy for me to say. And of course, don't forget, we are brought to you by, or we're on Patreon as well. And uh, we've got many perks and great things for you over there. So check that out. It's in the description below. And we would appreciate that very much. Well, today, Shane, we've got to talk about we got Russia, Ukraine, Canada, stock market, government, inflation. We have got it all, man. This is quite
This is
a
gonna be quick and dirty. Is that what you're saying?
this is quite a morning because world events right now are shaping our future. And man, this Russia Ukraine thing and whatever. The other thing, the other thing that's really ironic about this, Shane, is Russia is the chair of the UN Security Committee.
Yeah, I know. How amazing is that? Yeah, right in the middle of their invasion of
Right?
Russia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll bet there's. Well, it's not an invasion, Shane. It's a
Yeah, of course.
military exercise. It's a military exercise.
Yeah, yeah.
Who won it?
Well, first of all, we've talked about this before, and it's such a strange thing to look at because you hear everyone talking, war, 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 and
Mm-hmm.
Russia is no longer a conscript army. It's now a volunteer army now for a year. They have 1 million active people and 2 million in reserves. Okay, so now let's look at Ukraine. Okay, their armed forces. So it's conscript, 12 and 18 months, available for military service under 11.1 million.
Yeah.
Fit for military service, 7 million. Reaching military age, 500,000. Active, 215. Reserve, 200. Deployed, 40,000. So it's not like the Ukraine isn't capable of defending itself. Like
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing, we got to defend democracy, right? What about the 25 countries in Africa and
Yeah.
the 20 countries in the South Pacific and in Asia? Like, come on, like, no, we've been there. We've been down this road.
Mm-hmm.
Little
Yeah.
Napoleon in the 1800s, little Khrushchev, or little Hitler in the 20th century, and now you got little Putin in the 21st century. I mean, it's so weird when you look
Mm-hmm.
at it historically, right? Like every 100 years, we get one of these guys.
Yeah, that's that's what we find. That's for sure. So, um, well, it's uh, people waking up this morning are finding that Russia has invaded Ukraine or started their invasion, I guess I should say,
That's right.
and the effects on the world market, Shane. A lot of things are happening in Ukraine. Ukraine has got a bunch of stuff that they're you know any commodities and things that they stop is going to be a real issue for around the prices on everything else. You think you got inflation now?
Oh
Uh,
yes.
yeah, gold is going. Gold is 1900. I never thought I would see it at 1900, but it is, and people are cashing in their stocks and bonds, and they're going to, they're going to gold. I guess the market's tanked, totally tanked.
Well, absolutely, and I want to make two observations. We're not just talking about in the U.S. Okay, I mean, across Europe, the stock markets from the DAX, in Germany to the FTSE in London to, the to France. I mean, they're down between 4 and 5%,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the other markets, like in Russia, it's down 30%. Of course, you'd expect that. And then you flip over to what you think is that the other side of the world. Like every market in Asia is down anywhere from 2 to 7%.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a global blow off, which means not only is this potential bubble we've been talking about now for, well, since May, and then more concentrated in the last month. It looks like it's going to be, excuse the expression, hell bent on fury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oil and everything. But and you know what? Crypto. I mean, this is what's even more fabulous in the context of where the opportunity may come at some point, 2 months from now, probably. But Bitcoin's at 36,000. Now, this was at what, 60,000? I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
down 23 cents since the beginning of this year, down $1,500 today.
Yeah.
So again, this tells me it's non-Americans. It's a global sell-off of American assets, especially like Bitcoin. I mean, to be
Mm-hmm.
selling it here,
Yeah.
American investors wouldn't be selling Bitcoin here.
No.
But it's way too early to even consider buying it. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and as we've covered, and I won't go into detail unless you want to because of time, but listen to our Saturday show. And we'll go in. But basically the 28-day bill this week sold by the Treasury or offered, the 182-day bill offered, 91-day bill offered, and the 364-day bill offered. All these offerings by your Treasury Department, less than 30% were taken down. So,
Yeah.
and of that, half of it was foreigners rolling over the debt,
Mm-hmm.
that they have, which is 10%. So 90% is now your death knell because it's held within your country. And guess what? No one's buying it.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
in your
They're not.
country is buying your own debt. No one,
Yeah.
no one wants your own. No one wants your own debt.
No, we don't. No, we don't want it. We got enough of our own.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing too, Shane, we got to talk about is people are not going to crypto as a hedge on inflation. That's
Not yet. No, that's
no,
right.
that's out the
No.
window. So
Yeah.
it's another anomaly out there, I guess. Just
Not really. That's why you see gold. Gold
well,
moving
gold,
in the
yeah.
direct.
Well,
Yeah.
gold's always been
Yeah.
kind of a hedge against inflation. I've never really understood that because you know, uh, it doesn't produce anything. The only thing that gives it value is if somebody else is willing to pay for it.
Well,
So,
and there's a huge lesson in the stock market. Of course, buy low, sell high, all that good
oh
stuff.
yeah,
But the
sure that.
biggest in a case like this, I mean, we're coming out. This is going to be ugly. This is going to get bigger.
Mhm.
A statement here, made it before, going to make it again. The U.S. is going into a recession, or at this point, based on what the policies, your foreign policies of your government, a major recession or
Mhm.
a depression. All right,
Yeah.
that's where you're headed right now by May, June. But I just wanted to
Mhm.
tell everyone that as a market person who did this, talked to people, had clients, the one quote I always had for them in a down market was, "Your first loss is your best." Because people's greed drives them. If I sell it today, gosh, it's going to be, it could be higher tomorrow.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
if you don't sell it today, it could be lower tomorrow. So your first loss is your bet and
Mhm.
best. Now, I'm not telling anyone to sell. You got to make that decision on your own. And
Yeah.
you had a chance. There's
Mhm.
been several situations in the last 60 days, other than us telling you, like starting last November, sell. No,
Yeah.
we said sell 50%, sell 90%, keep some, but go to cash.
Mhm.
But now there are some dead cat bounces happening in specific stocks, mostly because of short support. Because you look at Facebook and it's under $200, buddy.
Yeah.
It's
I
heading,
know. Yeah.
but there's 52 million shorts on it. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's not much compared to the float of billions, but
Yeah.
still a lot. I mean, there's a
Mhm.
lot of people out there that like to step in and buy it back, and then they're traders. If it moves up significantly, like 5 or 10%, they'll short it again. But
Yeah.
this is a downside of the market, so you
Yeah.
got to be aware of it.
Yeah. It really is. Well, these Russian sanctions obviously are going to have a have a huge effect on gas prices because depending on what sanctions they put on, if they sanction Russia out of the banking system, that's going to be huge. That's
Well, it'll be worse for America than it will
Well, that's
be
what I
for
mean.
Russia.
It's going to be bad for us.
Yeah, because you saw this with what Trudeau did here in Canada,
Yeah.
and people, the Chinese here. I have friends that have rented from Chinese people for 20 years, literally 20 years. Back to the '90s and the 2000s, and now they're selling them. They're selling property because they see what they ran away from in China coming, to North America with what with what Biden's doing with Russia and what the Prime Minister did in Canada. Now, I had an epiphany yesterday. I have a new slogan for Biden's 2024 campaign. It'll be a nice hat, and he can make it, a blue hat because the Bulldogs, and it's going to say on it, "Make Russia great again."
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be his, because obviously he's making Russia great again. Let's make Russia rich again. I mean, that's what's going on here. And it's a terrible reality. But Biden's basically, by sanctioning Russia this way with banking, that's an act of war. I mean,
it is.
It is.
Well, he hadn't done it yet, but and I don't know if he will or not, because that will have a adverse effect on America if he does that.
Well, if he does it, the Russians are, I would expect, going to confirm, everything about his son, and everything about the money sent and everything that,
Well, they certainly could do that. They could say, hey, don't do it, or we're going to throw out all the evidence.
That's right.
Of this, if there is evidence.
Well, there is.
Well,
and they're guilty, and oh, come on,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, well,
it's so bad. Biden's family is so
when
bad.
they do it.
They're knee deep in China, Ukraine. They're knee deep in Russia. I mean, everywhere.
Yeah, when we, I don't know, when somebody stands up under oath and says, "Yeah, well," but till then you're innocent till proven guilty. So, but again, the markets are already taking a reaction. I agree with you. I think most of the stock market reductions are from overseas, as people getting out of American markets and going into more international markets, or else they're sitting on cash. They're gonna go to a cash position and decide what. Let's see how this thing plays out. The other thing to think about: it's only 8 months away from the election, and Russia is not going to be out of Ukraine in 8 months. I don't think. I think this is going to be this is going to go on for a while.
No, they're there forever. This is a forever thing. And how much more can I take? He's already taken, during the Obama-Biden administration,
Georgia,
Crimea, and the Crimea. So Belarus he's got military in Belarus on the border of Ukraine. So, Belarus is now basically a satellite state of Russia again.
They're in play. So
Well,
it'll be interesting, because this is a real test of how tough is Biden actually. Is this guy tough, or is he a weenie and he's going to put his tail between his legs and just take to the microphone? Next Tuesday he has a State of the Union address. So
good luck with that.
That's going to be pretty interesting as to how they can float a full-blown raft on this ocean.
Exactly.
That's going to be tough.
Very true. Yeah. Well, you were touching on and mentioning, as a country, just by sheer size, what Ukraine provides to the world in commodities, energy and food particularly, is massive. So, it's coming to a neighborhood near you, like a loaf of bread and a gallon of gasoline, and don't think it ain't going to happen, because it's just one of those situations where that the world is going to fall upon its sword.
Yeah, well, certainly could. There's no doubt about that, and I'm not sure how long it's going to take for the real ramifications of the market to, uh, hit bottom or whatever they're going to do. I don't know whether it's a week or whether it's going to be a month or 2 months or whatever. It may be into the summer before, before the dust settles and people adjust, adjust their finances, adjust their investments, and adjust with whatever they plan to do, wherever they are. So that's going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on very closely.
Well, the problem you have now is they're going to weaponize the market, meaning that, they did with the COVID, right? We
Mm-hmm.
got to follow the numbers. The numbers are what
Yeah.
we got to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So all you're hearing from the talking heads now in finance is that what incredible numbers these companies are showing. Yeah, they're down 60%, 70%, 20%,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
But boy, the PE ratio is better. Oh, it's now down around 12 to 16 instead of 32.
Yeah, which
But
is where it should be. It should be around 15 for
yeah,
most stocks, I
but
think.
that's not
So,
the point. The
yeah,
point
no.
is that they're misdirecting
Mm-hmm.
and weaponizing the market as an issue that they want to support or try to get people back into, and that's what's going to cause it to get worse. So the bottom line is that they should be telling people exactly what's going on, so that people are prepared to listen to them. When there's a bottom. We saw this in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
2009. The market went down to 6,900,
Yeah.
right, in March,
Mm-hmm.
and after the big debacle with the mortgage-backed securities that
Mm-hmm.
affected the 2008 election, got Obama elected,
Yeah.
and then the market turned.
Yeah,
But
we're back to 12 by December, 6 months
that's
later.
right. So but there wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really a recession. It was just a financial
Yeah.
alert.
Well,
But
we had oil.
this
We had oil at 140 a barrel, and
that's right.
it went down to 32, I think, in eight
By
months or 7
Well, no,
months, something like that.
by 2014 it was down. 13 it
Mm-hmm.
was 2013 it was 125, and then
Yeah.
it was $39 in 2014. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's so you have one of these situations where how bad is it? Well, that depends on recession, deep recession, or depression. I mean, if it's a
Mm-hmm.
blowout, it could take a generation to 20 years. It could take
Yeah.
20 years to come back.
Well, it could.
So
Yeah.
yeah, if it's a
Yeah.
bad recession,
Mm-hmm.
2 to 4 years. If
Yeah.
it's a recession, if the recession comes off a year from now, it'll be at least a year. So that's where you're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah. Are we going to have a European recession, do you think, caused by this thing?
Oh, Europe's already in a recession. It
Well,
has been,
I
and
guess.
China is too. China's in
Mm-hmm.
serious trouble. This will end up
Mm-hmm.
financially hurting China, and it's going to hurt China and the U.S. China because no one will buy anything because
Yeah.
no one will have expendable income. But more importantly, the U.S. because of their restrictions and scaring people away from investing. Russia will just be the bad dog no one wants to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you go? Well, you go to the least. You're chicken, right?
Yeah.
Money's chicken. It's got to go where it's safe.
That's it. Yep.
So where's safe? Well, at this point, you might start throwing darts. Like I said, there's not a stock in the world I'll buy except for Alphabet after their
Mm-hmm.
20-for-1 split, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
then 2 weeks after that,
yeah.
because a lot of people will be now able to sell it, like
Mm-hmm.
insiders.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Coke might be okay. I don't know. Maybe. We'll have to see, I guess.
It's one of the only stocks holding up. It's great that you say that because
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah. No, we're always going to drink Coke no matter how bad the situation is. Whether we have any money or not, we'll still buy a Coke every now and
That's
then.
right.
So,
Exactly.
so
You got it, buddy.
yeah, we're in trouble.
You're clear on that. You're totally clear
Yeah.
on it. McDonald's.
That's where we are. Yeah,
McDonald's is
McDonald's.
hanging in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a pretty nice profit this year, I guess, whenever they came out.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, people
yeah.
are always going to eat their
Mhm.
burgers. So it's not like
That's so true.
there's no question there's standard fares out there, but even those I wouldn't buy yet because they're all going to
Mhm.
correct with their. People sell their bad stocks first.
Yeah.
And for some reason, instead of selling stock that you still have a profit or you're making money on,
Mhm.
you go sell your bad stock.
Yeah.
That you're losing, and then all of a sudden you're look where like good stocks end up looking like bad stocks, and you're
Yeah.
wow, what am I going to do now? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why we
Mhm.
went through this with everybody, and we can beat our chest as loud as we want because we're right.
Yeah.
We've had it right from
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
6 months ago. Well, since last May.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you're right about Coca-Cola. It's 431.20, and it's a stalwart. There's no that's why Berkshire Hathaway owns so much of it because
Mhm.
it's
It's a
just
sure thing.
well, and it pays a nice little dividend.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Dividend's 25 cents a share, and there's
Mhm.
4.6 billion shares out on it. So there's enough of a float that it's held by everyone that
Mhm.
knows it.
Yeah.
And if you still see Coke bottles, why would you sell it?
Yeah. That's that's true. I guess so.
No, I mean, at this
Yeah,
point, you're
that's
only
right.
going to keep but it's
Yeah.
down $200. It was at
Mhm.
619, so it's
Yeah.
down to 431. So $200, my buddy. That's
Yeah.
35%.
That's kind of heavy. So right there.
That's a
So
dump. That's a dump, pal.
all right. Well, obviously, we'll be talking about more of this on the radio on Saturday. We're on Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. You can listen to us anywhere in the world, kmmsam.com, as you can see on the crawl there, kmms.com. All you got to do is click listen now. No sign up, no email. You don't have to tell anybody who you are, what you are, where you are. It's a great deal. You can call us, you can text us. Um, but we'll be talking about this in a lot more detail on our Saturday morning show. And again, kmmsam.com is all you need. Click listen now between 8 and 11 Mountain Time, and you get us. So
Live
it's
and
just
well.
alive and well. So it's just that easy to get us. So. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us. I think we we've done all the damage we can do today, Shane. I
Yeah,
guess so.
right. Yeah, safe harbor, everyone.
That's right. That's for sure. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, like us, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of our show. And we will see you on the next podcast and hear you on the radio, 8 to 11 Mountain Time, kmmsam.com on Saturday. Bye for now.